Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Man, this episode is flying by. There's so much weirdness going on. Cool. Well, so
Time
good,
travel.
Love it.
good work, team. Getting weird. So let's see what's going on back at the temple. So Brace, you've just been shot in the back.
Yeah, that hurt.
It hurt real bad. Yeah, you got shot in the back by Barber.
Can you remind me what 9 harm means? What's my condition?
You're pretty fucked up, but you will still get better on your own. If you take one more harm, you've tipped over.
So 9, you won't get better on your own, but you don't get any worse.
Right. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, nine is the hanging point, and then you tip over at 10.
That's the point that Dice was at constantly. Always.
Right.
Yeah, you're as fucked up as Dice tended to be.
Jeez, that is grim.
Please? What? Okay. So yeah, if we're going straight back to the situation that was occurring, I am hiding behind Tynant and telling him to fix this.
Yeah. So I think there's a moment. There's a moment where Tynan, you can maybe do something as Brace. You've got like blood on your face from you just getting your brain damaged by Brace's powers. Brace, you've been shot in the back. You fall into Tynant's arms. They have you held up, but you're not like crumbled. Like you can stand immediately. You just happen to like get pushed forward. And then Tynant, what happens in that moment?
I think I put Brace behind me. Like I stand between Brace and
That's what I was going for anyway, so yeah.
the gathered people.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, let me recover my voice here.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tynant says to the mob, because they're officially a mob at this point.
Oh yeah, they're gathered. I'd say about half of them are here, the other half are outside. So there's like 20 people here, and I think you stand in front of you stand between Barber and Brace, and Barber looks at you and he's like, Tynan, what are you doing? She broke the law. She has to die. That's how it goes. And there's like murmurs of like, yeah, the law in the crowd.
I mete out the punishments for the law.
So punish her already.
Let me quickly review.
Let me review the law, asshole.
Let me just bring out my book and take a look at it. And I'm like hiding behind Tynan and like nervously like fiddling and waiting for this to.
Is this a time for me to trigger my move? Do you think, Adam? Should I just roll Lawbringer and let that?
Yes,
see how things go?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Now,
get a 13.
here's the thing. You're aware of a change in the tenor of the situation. I'm sure that you, Andrew, are aware, but I want to make it clear that Tynant is aware that the law to which Barber is referring is no longer the law of the ghosts. It's no longer the old law. It's the law of the new order, right? It's the law of like you as leader of the gang to establish control, and their expectation is like you need to punish our enemies. It's not about like they broke the language being used might be like she broke the law because that's
the context is different.
The context here is you need to punish our enemies, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete all these laws, and we're gonna write some new ones because
Yeah.
it sounds like the fiction demands that.
You're the source of law now.
Hell yeah,
And
new laws.
they expect there's an expectation of and this is just judgment making itself known in the fiction.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the mass of them wants this to be the law.
Yes.
And then I get to make a decision now and make a statement.
Correct.
So yeah, Tynant will just say, if it's not the laws of the dead anymore, then it's my law, and I decide who gets punished. Your place is to respect me and respect that. I have reasons for what I'm doing. I'm going to fix Brace and hopefully fix this place, which we have fought to recover. She has the source in her now. And if we ever want that back, killing her isn't exactly going to solve it.
So there's a murmuring among the crowd where they're like, They respect your authority, but they're questioning this particular application of it because they've just had to kill friends and relatives, right? Like most
And
of
then
these,
Brace is someone they don't like.
and they hate Brace. Brace is a disgusting outsider, and now you're sparing her. Like, what about my son? What about my sister? What about like the people I care about that I just had to kill? Like, we just did a bad thing for you, and now you're gonna spare this weirdo who's like hiding behind you? Yeah, they're mad. They're not gonna like, you know, attack you or anything, but they're pissed. And they don't care about the well anymore, right? They just want law and order. They want someone to be in control, but they want it to be the law and order they want.
Yeah, of course, right?
Finicky assholes, but
they want it to suit their own needs.
Exactly, yeah.
If the source is in me, could I like heal myself?
No, you don't have control over it. You have no authority over it. You're just its
It's
vessel.
yours. You're
It's
not.
vessel, okay.
Yeah.
You're its. You belong to it.
Exactly. You're the cup in which it is contained.
And so, yeah, to the gathered mob, I'll just say, when you find yourself in my position, you will see that it is not so easy to make these calls. What is easy is to stand as you are now in judgment of me. Wait and see. See if my decision is right. And if this work that I am doing is fruitful. If not, then I have no choice but to give her up to your judgment.
Okay. So let's talk about the new law you're establishing here. What, like everybody gets a chance to like a fair trial, or like what's the precedent being set here?
The first law which I established just now is that Tynant is the boss.
Yes, sure. So what, like disobeying you is, and what's the punishment for disobeying you?
The punishment for disobeying me is, I think we're going to keep some of our previous punishments. So the public humiliation.
Okay. All right.
You get like called out and made to feel bad. And then what is the, and I think one of the other laws is about,
I mean, I feel like there's something to be said here about like mercy to our enemies, or like the fact that you're not straight up just like icing. You have to establish, this is going to establish precedent of like what you do with people in this situation, right? Like, why did everybody else get killed but Brace get spared? The law might be I say who lives and dies, right?
I think it's I say who lives and dies.
Wow.
And if people go against that, then the punishment is death.
Because you
or not, because you get to, yeah. So if somebody kills someone else, you get to decide what happens to them. Their life is forfeit. Is that the? Right. Okay.
I mean, do we need more laws? I feel like that covers everything.
I'm the boss.
Anyways.
Do what I say.
I mean, yeah. Like, what? How many laws did you get when you first created your character? 3. What are the rules for creating them?
5 laws.
Okay, so you can enact other laws later when you decide they're the law.
I'm gonna figure it out slowly but surely. Yeah, there are 3 to 5 laws. But for now, this is what we've established. And so, yeah, like Tynant just kind of stares down this mob with like Brace, hidden behind me.
Yeah, and you're huge, right? And
yeah.
She is not. So while this is happening, Brace, what are you doing?
I am rolling my pain wave receptor in my hand and getting ready to bolt if necessary.
Okay, sure.
So does this count as me like using up Brace's hold?
No, because Brace, it's actually the opposite, because Brace wanted to be top shit, and you've just said what I say goes. If you had been like, the new law is Brace is in charge, then yes, but no, definitely not. And Brace, you see this happening, right? Tynant is just being like, everybody's under my control. I get to decide who lives and dies. You're definitely being undermined here, for sure.
Yeah, I still think that one, he is, they are, what is the word? The hypnotic phrasing? They are, anyway, you're cool and I like you.
You're fixated upon it.
It's fixation. It doesn't have to be nice. It can just be like obsession.
Okay, I'm obsessed with Tynant, but I still think that Brace is like, hey, this is fine. If they answer to him and then if they answer to Tynant and Tynant answers to me, that's still cool. So I feel like Brace would be like, this group of people will not be impressed by me, but if Tynant can get them under their sway,
The other
perhaps
thing to
I
keep
can-
the other thing to keep in mind, I don't want this to go unnoticed, that Tynant didn't say that you get to live. Tynant just said,
I
I'm
decided
gonna think about it. Right?
Yeah.
Like it explicitly you are not safe. You are very unsafe, both from Tynant and the mob. And Tynant is only this like tissue thin barrier between you and them ripping you apart.
I'm gonna pull a rule from the playbook here
Yep.
of honor the god, but it's gonna be honor Brace,
Really?
Nice. Okay.
and I'm gonna explain it to the kids.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, that would be a thing, right?
Congratulations, you're the Queen of England.
And so there will be punitive violence if you do not honor Brace.
Right. Honor but not obey.
We used to honor the ghosts of the dead. Now we honor Brace.
Sure.
Brace has the ghosts in her.
Yeah.
I like the implication that the Queen of England is full of ghosts.
I mean, come on. Like
Yeah, Tynant will just like continue to talk to this mob.
So is this like a statement of the new laws is happening at this moment?
And I'll just say, Brace carries the ghosts of the dead in her now. The well isn't what it once was. We still must honor her then as the speaker for them.
Speaker for the dead.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And I like glance over at Deerfield, like, and the ghosts less, less ghost standing next to him, and I'm just like,
the disembodied ghosts are all whispering to each other quietly. Like you can't hear them. They're just like
they're not speaking to me.
no, they're speaking to each other and like all like kind of staring at you.
They always speak to me. Oh, bad shit.
And so then lastly, Tynant will just say, now I'm sure we all have work to do.
Yeah, I think when you say that, we have work to do. There's like a small caliber like gunshot that goes off somewhere in like the far corner, and you look over and Lang has just like shot somebody on the ground, and just like looks up at you, like, yeah, we do. And not like in a threatening way, but like we got to clean up. Like we got to finish taking out the wrongdoers in this place. And I think like they kind of dissipate. The mob unforms, and goes about like cleaning up, dragging bodies into a pile outside, doing like post combat work.
And I like usher Brace back into the former medical ward. I'm gonna sit her down, have a nice little chat.
Okay, so you're on your way with Brace, and Lissa stops you, and she says, so she puts her hand up as you're going. She scowls at Brace, but then looks at you, and she's like, Tynant, some of them got away. We saw them headed towards Templetown.
And she's talking about my followers. Right?
Yes, yeah.
We couldn't have gotten out of this clean. We'll just have to be ready for them if they come back. They won't find any friends in Templetown.
They're on foot, but we can still catch them. And you can see that you look past her, and there's about 3 or 4 other like very eager looking people with guns who are like just waiting for Lissa to ask you to get permission to go and hunt these people down.
I want to like interfere. I want to go aggro on her with my brain whispers and be like, you're not killing my people.
Right, to like calm down.
Yeah.
You're going aggro on her aggro?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So she has to be able to see me, but we don't have to interact at all.
Yep, she can definitely see you.
And I'm just basically like, you're not killing my people.
So what you want for your go aggro is that she change her mind. And she's like, okay, we'll let him go. And on a 10 plus, she has to force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. How much harm is she looking at?
1.
She takes 1 harm. So your aggressive psychic mind messing touches off the burning like anger that's already in her, and just like the fire gets worse. And you see Tynant, you see her, yeah, she like looks at you like eagerly, like we can chase them down, and then she kind of winces and like grabs her head, and I think maybe you hear, or you imagine you hear like a high-pitched sound. You can feel it in your molars. And she coughs hard. She's just like, and like coughs blood all over the front of you. And then like looks up at you, like she's got blood dripping down her face, and you've got it all over the front of you now. And she looks at you like, what the fuck just happened? Like she looks like afraid.
Yeah, and I like put a hand on her shoulder, and I'm just like, I'm really trying to like calm her down. I'm just, Alyssa, we need to sort out the temple in our community, which is what we fought for today. Chasing these people down, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Is that really what you think?
She doesn't hear any of that because she's panicking that she just coughed up like a lungful of blood all over you.
Yeah, and I'm like holding her shoulder so she can't like bolt or squirm away.
Yeah. She's like hyperventilating and kind of like grabbing at your sleeve.
And I look at Tynant, and I'm just like,
You're still standing behind Tynant, yeah?
oh, okay. Well, I say from behind Tynant, those people worshipped the ghosts and me. You will not harm them. You will not allow them to be harmed.
And you're saying that to Tynant?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Like, it sounds like
I already said that I don't want them to be harmed. God, stop deflating me.
She's taking credit for what you just said, basically.
Yeah. And yeah, so I look past Alyssa at the like gathered angry people, and I just say, this is it. This is what we wanted. This place. It's ours again. Let's make moves to keep it now, not run off into the woods to hunt people down.
I think Alyssa manages to like take a shuddering breath and like actually fill her lungs with air so she can speak, and looks up at you, and she's like, but if we let them go, they'll come back. What if, and there's the gang in the town, and they already hate us because of what happened with Bill. What if they come up here?
Those that left us, like I said, will not make easy friends in the town. The town has its own problems. If they bring violence here, it will be a half measure at best, and we will hold them off.
She, I think she's sort of, her anger has deflated a little now, and she kind of like pulls back from you, like wipes her face, and just makes a mess of it, and she's like, fine. And kind of like wobbles a little and like turns to she just turns her back on you.
And yeah, so like to her back and these other people, just like, please everyone, take care of yourselves and recover. It was a hard enough day already. And then I like usher Brace away.
Okay. All right.
And I want to sit her down and have a conversation.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's jump back to. I want to see what Huron's up to, and then we'll come back to that.
Oh, what I'm up to is the wonder.
Yeah. So Huron, what are you up to?
Well, my new information is that the third party is dead, and now there are only 2 parties.
That is
so to speak.
That is correct information. Yep.
And if I'm reading what you said right, like Scab is into the idea of just letting me do what I want, but needs some reason other than that I want to do it.
Yeah, what she wants is she wants what you say to be correct, right? She wants proof that if she does what you want, that it will unite the gang under her as she desires, and that she can kind of take the new mutants to herself. They can belong to her instead of she sees this cultural shift towards self-mutilation in Trench's image.
I am going to talk to Trench if I can.
Sure. Okay. So you find Trench in the manufactory where you always do, and he's in the pumps room. They've set up a whole bunch of water pumps, and the drugs take a ton of water to make, like just tons. And you find Trench along with the chemist Buzz in the pumps room talking when you arrive.
I wait until they're finished with their conversation or whatever they're saying to each other, like respectfully, you know, sort of.
So Trench is saying to Buzz, I think when we fade in, he's saying to Buzz, like, "Don't worry, Buzz. Your work is of the utmost to me. You'll have the water you need. I'll put rationing in place immediately." And Buzz is this like kind of squirrely, like older dude. And Buzz nods, seemingly mollified by whatever it is that they were talking about. And then Trench turns to you, and you can't see it, but gives you a lipless smile under his mask.
Trench, if I might talk to you a moment.
He nods. Yes, of course. What can I do for you?
I had a conversation with our mutual friend Scab upstairs. She invited me to talk to her privately. And apparently, the little one, Ralph Ball Jr., I think she's dead.
Yes, I had heard. Shame about that. Tragic waste.
I agree. But she seemed a little touchy, you know, about the dynamic moving from a triumvirate to more of a, you know, 1 versus 1 situation.
Yes, of course she's upset. The girl was her daughter, you know.
Oh, that makes a
Let's
lot.
just keep that between us, shall we? It's not a publicly known secret. But we trust each other, don't we, Heron?
Of course. But what I wanted to talk to you about is she has asked me to stop working.
Oh, well, that won't do.
I agree. I would really prefer not to. I think the best way to go about it is that I prove that my work can be just as valuable to Scab and her people as it can be among our own down here. People who have adopted what I do as a symbol of, perhaps wrongly, a symbol of you. Your work and the work I do on you is singular and impressive and a thing all to its own, rivaled only by the work I've done to myself. But Scab seems to see it as sort of a political thing, you know? Those who are marked versus those who aren't. Who among her people do you think would be receptive of a private conversation?
Scab listens only to her own counsel. Perhaps if we were to convince her more strongly that transformation is necessary, I could have her brought to you, you know.
You're too kind. I think if we want to avoid violence amongst our own, including Scab's people, we'll probably have to take an approach that isn't forced. You know?
Violence is unavoidable. Conflict cannot be stopped. What I wish to avoid is loss. Let us convince her now, sooner rather than later. Bring her over to our side. Transform her.
You always know just what to say to put me in the right frame of mind. Yes, I'll wait. Bring her to me. And we'll work on her.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He nods. He says, "It will be done."
And I turn and sort of leave.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows where I'm going to be. You
Mhm.
know, like it's my room, the room that I do all this stuff in. So it's one of those things where I'm basically just leaving it to Trench.
Yeah. Okay. So sometime
My dearest companion, Trench.
sometime in the very near future, Scab will be brought to you, to be transformed.
Oh, I'm gonna use her gift on her. That'll be fun.
Woof. Poor Scab. Yep. All right. So in the meantime, are there other preparations that you need to undergo? Is there anything that you need to do?
I don't often perform on unwilling participants.
Uh-huh.
This is something that's like outside of my usual vein of, you know, I like someone to sit still
Yeah.
and
Of course.
not ruin the work, you know, which I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. But I mean, I go to my room and organize through all of the tools that like I've been given by Scab, or Scab's people at the very least. Make sure I've sort of laid them out in preparation, along with my own, you know, ornate knife, which is like my main tool.
And as you're laying out the tools, you notice like they're it's like a set of fine cutlery. Like they're all crafted as a part of a set. And they have yeah, they're definitely like of a set. You unroll like the tool roll, and they're all laid out perfectly and polished and oiled. These were well beloved, and not a thing that like a person would just have or just give away. Like they were collected, they were acquired for you especially.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. I make sure that I have something to restrain her if I have to. You know, rope or a chain. I don't think that you have some of that stuff. I think you need to go out and find it. But you do know someone who has a space that contains such things. I do.
You do.
Ferris.
Yeah.
And I head over to Ferris's.
All right. So Ferris, you're at home. What have you done with Cobra?
Unfortunately not been able to save him.
Oh.
So you just let him die, like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then we start doing the weird thing that I saw in my vision of this beautiful antenna flower. And I guess just checking, since he only recently died, maybe keeping his brain like slightly aware so I can monitor whether the commands that I'm sending to like this new like mind control drug through nanomachines are like working, whether activating the right.
So as you start to work, as you start to assemble the stuff, serendipitously, like as you think like, oh, I could really use a thing that, and then you realize like one of the things that was like left for you is exactly the tool that you need for this job. That the various bits and pieces, you're starting to realize that they're part of this process of creating these nanites that you need to create. Yeah. So you've been like being prepared for this over the course of several months as people, whoever has been leaving you these little gifts, and now you have a context for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So, I think while Ferris is doing this, he, to make sure, and I think the way that he checks all of these like intricate like biomechanical things is he actually takes off his mask, and underneath we see like a not particularly human looking facial structure. Like, for example, Gas Mask had 2 eyes. He actually only has like 1, but it kind of rotates and like zooms in and out, kind of camera like. And it's a very obvious like speaker mesh instead of a mouth, and it's just in like in a circle, when there's obviously no nose or ears or anything like that. It's just like kind of 2 corrugated sheets of metal like riveted over each other just to like cover up the front and just like hold everything in place.
The structure of your face for those who would be watching, if this were a show, is like eerily reminiscent of Trench and Trench's like slow transformation.
Oh, yeah, that's quite cool. I like that.
Yeah, like Trench at one point, like Trench had his jaw like kind of wired shut, and he has no like lips. He can't close his mouth, so his face is like a mesh of teeth, like the grid of his teeth. The 2 of you look more similar than maybe anyone realizes, but there isn't anyone who's ever seen both of your faces. So
yeah. So like while I'm doing this, you can see like the light kind of change color on the eye, and it's like going through different like frequencies and thermal imaging and like electronic, or like an MRI or something built in, so I can check what's going on there.
Sure.
Yeah, just to give some more imagery to that. But yeah, I need to come up with I go. Right, I nod. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my progress. I put the mask back on. Oh no! There's been a. Oh no! I'm trying to get the attention of the other 2.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Doom. You hear Doom because you're separated by like a sheet, right? You hear Doom say, "What?"
Oh, I'm not sure you. It's a very sad day indeed. Perhaps. Just terrible.
She pulls the curtain aside. She sees you standing there, and he's like still on the thing, blood all over the place. And she looks at him, looks at Cobra, looks at you. You didn't fix him.
Unfortunately, he was unfixable.
She laughs. She's like, "Yeah, well, getting shot in the neck didn't change that."
No. However, I do understand that it wasn't my place to make this decision. Perhaps we could come to some sort of arrangement where we report this back. It paints you in a more favorable light. That there was some sort of accident, and you gave the go-ahead for me to use already wasting resources. Something along those lines.
Roll to manipulator. So what you want is for her to just be like, okay, you can have him. We'll pretend like none of this happened, just for the sake of like you continuing to do your work.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think she looks at him, she looks at you, and she knows you're trying to manipulate her. And it's not even, she doesn't even give your plan a second thought. Like it might it's one of those things where she's like, I don't care if it's a good idea. I'm not even going to consider it because I know it's what you want. And she takes a breath to like say something shitty to you. And that's when Fluffy spots Huron approaching outside. And Fluffy's like, Doom. And she like scowls and turns. She's like, what is it? And Fluffy's like, look, and points. And Huron, you're approaching Ferris's house.
Yeah.
So you knock? Do you just come in? What do you?
I knock. I mean,
Okay.
It's still Ferris's house, and
So
I tend to be very respectful of environments and people. Just
so the door opens and you see Fluffy, who is like a bad imitator of your work at best. And he opens the door, he looks at you, and he's just like, fuck. And he just stands there looking at you like.
I can't help but like seeing the bandage like over his head and like hearing about what he did. I can't help but like sort of think of this person as like a ripped sheet of paper. Like it's basically worthless now.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's like there's like this look of derision in my eyes that even though it doesn't quite reach like the rest of my features, you can definitely tell that like he'd be able to tell that like I don't care much for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't care much for him either. So he's like, just stares at you like he doesn't know what to say or do.
Ferris.
And then Doom steps up behind him, and you haven't worked on her before. She's still pretty like she has scars, but they're fight scars.
Fight scars. Yeah.
And she just puts her hand on Fluffy's shoulder and moves him. And she looks at you and she's like, Huron. Looks over her shoulder. Ferris, you have a visitor. And then back to you. Keep it short. He's got work to do.
A few moments.
She steps out of the way, but doesn't leave. So she's still like, she's not giving you privacy with him. She's just.
Yeah, I step in and I look over at Ferris if I can see Ferris.
Yeah, Ferris, do you come out?
Yeah, I'd like poke my head around and just like wave.
Ferris, do you have something I could use to restrain someone?
Yeah. I mean, I'm using it right now. Why don't you pop in here, have a look, see if it suits your needs?
Ferris, Nipperkin is standing behind Huron.
I walk over into wherever Ferris is, like the other room sort of thing. If he's beckoning me, which I guess he is.
So you go into the little like side area where Cobra's
like,
body is.
Come over here, take a look, kind of thing, and I'm like, I come in.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wave and beckon, and then as Heron comes in, I like beckon again.
Well, you don't. So when Heron comes in, you don't see Nipperkin anymore. But when you turn to follow Heron into the other room, Nipperkin's there now, like waiting for you.
Okay, that's fine. Yep. So I just I'm very happy.
I'm looking to you for like what object do you have?
I mean, you can see the bed thing that Cobra is laying on has like restraints, like leather belts and metal like shackles and stuff built into it.
Does this move? It looks very solid.
I mean, I can make it move if you want. We can raise it up and down.
Nipperkin leans in from behind you, where he suddenly is. Leans in next to you, Ferris, and just whispers, "Bring her here."
Yes. No. You're looking for somewhere to do your art.
I'm not looking for somewhere to do my art. I have a place to do my art. I have a way to do my art, but I confess I may need some new ropes or braces or chains, something of that like something simple. Ferris, I'll pay you for it if I have to.
Oh no, please, please. Actually, I see a really good opportunity for both of us in this situation. Why don't you bring your new friend here? You can use everything here. It's all powered. It'll be much better than simple things. We could even record it back for later if you wanted something like that. That's something we could probably do.
I give Ferris my best like cold look, just sort of deadpan, and I say, "No, I have a place where I'm going to do my art. Trench is recruiting someone. I have a place. I need any of your simple something. I'll cut the leather straps from that if we have to."
I'm afraid that's simply not possible. Everything here works in a very particular way. I would think you understand something like that. I understand. It's very difficult to be asked to do anything like this in a place that isn't your own. If you remember when we had that conversation with Trench, I worked very hard to make sure that I was allowed to stay here. It's a good space. I think you could use it. I think there are many interesting things for you here.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
sounds
think-
like Ferris is trying to manipulate you.
Yeah,
here
that's what
to
it
work
sounds
here.
like.
So why don't we
He's doing that.
why don't we have you roll that, Ferris? Let's see how that goes. All right, that partial success.
Got him.
So
I need concrete assurance.
yeah,
Or-
so the
No,
offer
it's-
here,
Carrot or stick, right?
yeah, it's so with a PC for seduce or manipulate, it's choose one. Dave, do you want to offer elf experience, or do you want to erase one of the stat highlights for the remainder of the session?
Oh, you're just so far behind with the experience. It'd be really nice of me to help you catch up, wouldn't it? I think we're going to go that way. We're friends, aren't we? We're friends. We're good friends.
Yeah, it could be an opportunity for something new. And plus, I like the idea of like we could record it, right? Like there's something you could do something new with your art. That kind of makes sense.
I say, I suppose I could bring her here, though I will need to change plans somewhat, as I think things are already in motion.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have one request, and that is that I get to do this alone.
Oh, yes, don't worry. I'm sure we'll get rid of Cobra by the time.
Yeah, Cobra's body, because you kept his brain like partially alive. You're like, we'll get rid of Cobra, and he just goes like.
I give Ferris a business-like nod and say, "All right, I'll bring her here. Have this cleared, please."
Just one little tiny thing. One tiny thing. I wasn't supposed to kill Cobra. He's supposed to be here to protect me. I hope maybe you can put in a good word with Trench.
Say no more. And I turn and sort of head back out. And as I'm entering the other room, I look over at Doom.
Yeah.
And I say, "I'm going to be using that back room soon."
So Doom just shakes her head. She's like, "This shit is far too complicated. Listen, all we want is for Weirdo there to do the work on the drugs. Whatever else is going on, I don't care."
I'll tell you what's going on. I know you don't care, But you might when Trench comes. Get that piece of shit out of the back room. Make him disappear. I don't care. And I'll be back soon. And I like impatiently leave.
Yeah. It's funny too because I think that like Ferris is acting like and thinking like killing Cobra was like a huge deal, and Doom is just kind of like, well, that was inconvenient, but like whatever, he's dead now. So
Yeah.
The whole time that you were in the room, Fluffy has been just like awkwardly standing and like staring and like trying to like in Fluffy's head there's like, oh god, I should talk to her, but and then you leave and he's just like,
does he sort of do like the sort of stammer thing as I walk by?
So he just breathes hard and like you can hear him like trying to say something, but he doesn't really want to. He's like mortified.
I'm imagining like an inhale as if to speak when you come nearby.
And as he does that, I turn and I look at him like dead in the eyes and I go, what?
He just holds his breath. He's like,
broken things can be remade, but they require a lot more attention. And then I turn and leave.
Okay, cool. So when you leave, Fluffy turns to Doom, and Ferris, you overhear this. Fluffy turns to Doom, and he's like, I have to go. I'll be right back. And so Heron, you leave, and y'all see like Doom is just like, fuck off, I don't care. Like you don't have to ask me permission to like whatever go to the outhouse or whatever. And we see Heron, he leaves. He waits for you. Like he looks out the window, waits for you to leave, Heron, and then opens the door and heads off somewhere. And as he does, he's like taking out a pocket knife, and then he like just disappears into the off stage.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so the plan then is to like you let Trench know like we're gonna do this at
yeah.
Okay.
I let Trench know that we're doing it at Ferris's so that when Trench grabs Scab, however he's planning to do that, they go to the right place.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I gather my things and, you know, my ritual has been disturbed somewhat. So I'm sort of trying to, you know,
cool,
figure that back out.
Well, let's find out. Well, let's find out what's going on in the temple. Let's work out that scene, and then we'll take a break, and then when we come back, we can do the transformation of Scab scene.
Sure.
I think that'll be cool. Okay, so God, the puns in chat. Yes, you're right. You're right, Trist. Fluffy is about to lose face. So you. Tynan, where do you take Brace to have this conversation?
Just into that infirmary where we were having a little confrontation earlier.
Okay.
And I sit her down. And I'm probably like holding your hands in my hands. And I'm looking at you very earnestly. And Tynan just says, I would very much like to speak to October again, if I could. And like they have this like 1,000-yard stare into the distance, kind of like off to the side.
And are the ghosts still not talking to me?
I mean, you failed your move at the beginning, so you're on your own. You feel the like a stone, like a block of ice, the like weight of the well's power, like deep in the pit of your stomach somewhere, and that's it. That's the only presence you feel. Just this kind of sick feeling.
And I say to Tynant, I say, we do not reward those who have not done what we asked of them.
I'm doing what I can to protect you. You should be careful not to ask for too much or for something that can't be given. If not for me, you would be dead. So at least I've given you that much.
I do remember you shooting me earlier.
Yes, well, I've come around.
And before that, you killed all of my people, Tynant. If not for you, I think I'd be fine.
Well, I was doing what I thought was right and what was best. As you know, it is difficult to be in a position of responsibility, to have people looking to you to make decisions. It's not just about what I want, it's about what they want and need.
How long have you been here, Tynant, at this temple, doing what they need? How has that worked out for you?
Sorry, I'm just trying to remember. I think we talked about this back like early on, that maybe Tynant's been here for like 2 decades or something at least. And so, yeah, Tynant will just say like, must be more than 20 years now. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Grace. And to be honest, this place is feeling more and more like a trap, like a cage.
And she like, what do you want from me, Tynant?
And Tynant like kind of seems like maybe they've like half heard you, but they like keep talking. And they're just like, I built this place so that people like October would have somewhere to be and to honor their memory, but it seems like even that's falling to pieces. What they want now has changed or was never what I thought it was. And we can build something permanent, but the world changes around it, renders it useless. I just wanted to take care of those people. So many left with nothing.
Tynant, I do not think they want you to care for them. I do not think that that is what they want, and I know that that is not what the ghosts have asked for.
Well, tell me what they want, then, and I will do my best to carry it out, to continue to honor them.
Can I like open my mind to see what the ghosts want from Tynant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I want to see what the ghosts want from Tynant, if I can.
Okay.
So that would be an impression.
Okay. You feel it first as as like a sense of nausea in your stomach, that heavy like stone feeling. Starts
Sorry,
to,
can I cut in for a second? I just realized that I could push this up to a +10 if I help and inspire. So if I spend one
yeah,
and then
that's
help.
true. Yeah.
Oh,
And
shit.
so I would like to do that because Tanya wants to know.
Yeah,
Okay, so
roll
plus
first.
one
Well, hold on, roll
for-
first and then decide if it's worth spending.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll my 2d6 +3 to help.
Boom.
So
Goes
boom,
to
I
9.
help, and then I'll spend one of my hold.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
So you get
Fucking-
10.
So you're like there holding my hands, and I'm just like, all right, what do the ghosts want?
Yeah, and so Adam, take it away. And I'm sure your previous description can still stand.
Yeah. You feel that sense, that heaviness in your stomach. It makes you kind of like lightheaded. Like, I don't know if you like as a person, Lydia, have ever felt like, you feel like really sick and like you can't concentrate because that's all you can feel is that like, oh God, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like you feel that, and it gets to the point where you have to close your eyes. to kind of like block out some of the other sensation, to focus on that feeling. But instead of darkness, when you close your eyes, you see Templetown, and it's flooded. There's a couple of meters of water covering pretty much everything. The building, the castle, the manufactory is like tipped over and partly sunken in the water. The sort of the whole landscape is just like underneath like a deep layer of placid dark water. And you see yourself, you and Tynant, in like in that building, like the partially collapsed like fortress. You're standing in Rolf Ball's like office, overlooking this new kind of sea of cold water that's like laid out before you. And the ghosts want the two of you to enact this. They want you to bring about the drowning of the world by way of the well. That you carrying it, you need Tynant, and Tynant needs you, and the ghosts want to shunt you forward into this new pure era when all bad things have drowned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like go through that, and then like the nausea abates.
Yeah, I think for the most part it does. Tynant, you
Do I get to see this?
I don't think
Because I'm like helping.
No, I don't think that you necessarily see it, but you feel something. You feel like a familiar power inside Brace. You can feel the like weight of the source.
Yeah, because like
within.
me helping is actually because of my connection to the source.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a feeling of togetherness, of communion here between you. And you sense that. You sense a powerful like intimacy, but don't get the details of the vision.
Yeah. Okay. And so I feel that, and I think for Tynant that's enough. And so I like stand and lift you up again and like give you another big hug.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm holding you close, I'm just gonna say very quietly, like, I will protect you, and I will make sure that whatever needs to be done is done. Just take me with you. So can I roll to manipulate Brace?
I mean, does Brace need to be manipulated?
No.
No. You get what you want without having to roll.
That's not as fun.
Yeah. No.
You just want extra XP.
Yeah. No, Andrew. You don't have to make that Brace-wise test. I just say that.
Roll to manipulate. Maybe you should roll to seduce though.
I was to say we haven't used any of the special moves. Is this a cut
I mean,
to
that's
special
kind of.
move?
I didn't want to say that, you know, because it's not Monster Hearts. I can't just be like, I'm turning you on.
Take me with you in a sex way, like.
I mean, in a like intimate way, yeah, like not in a necessarily like get down kind of way, but maybe in a like enough to trigger a special move kind of way.
I mean,
and that's kind of what this offer is about, right? Is about like, yeah, like take me with you, like be my like special, like close relationship person.
oh,
Right. This is what Tynant is.
This is how relationships work in real life too. You like shoot at each other for a while, then one of your friends shoots them, then you have a conversation in a weird infirmary, and then
you have visions.
You have visions,
and one of you steals the god of the other.
Yeah, it's classic. It's tale as old as time.
Speaking of experience, yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's how it works. I think that Brace, being someone that has never been close to a person or like had emotions at all, like she would need to be led in a direction, but I don't think that she would like resist.
So
like,
I mean, the question is, what's the mechanical thing that's about to happen? Do we do the special moves, or does Tynant need to manipulate you into doing the special moves? Listen, do you want to
I feel like Brace is not just going to be like, all right, yeah, let's do this. Like, she would need to be seduced.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to like show that by like that you get this nice thing by being close with someone.
Yeah, because Brace does not like that's not a concept that she has.
I need to show you the meaning of friendship.
Yes, show me the meaning of friendship.
All right. What's the? I mean, is the offer of like I'll give you a point of experience if we do the thing.
Yes, that is. I'm using the carrot.
I'm gonna use that next time I want someone to make out with me. I'll be like,
Point
"Do
of
you want to make out?
experience.
I'll give you a point of experience."
I mean,
Hell
that's,
yeah!
that's what the seduced half of the move is, basically. And with the advance that I just got, I am changing to a new type.
Okay, yeah, you're faceless now.
I am going to be a faceless now,
Nice.
Mm,
and we're gonna get the fuck out of this hellhole.
okay, right.
Flood the world.
Yeah, I will allow Brace to be seduced and
Cool.
do the special moves.
So does which special move do you trigger? Is this the last?
Let me see
Is
if
this the
the
last
faceless
move
one
of
is-
Tynan Swift, the Water Bearer, or is this the first move of Tynan Swift, the Faceless?
Yeah, let me look at this move and see which one's more appropriate. Oh, so the faceless special is if you and another character have sex, hold one. If they get into shit, either you or they can spend your hold, and there you are. So yes, it's that one. It's the like
guardianship
I'm
one.
your-
Okay, and the Hocus one is hold one. Either of you can spend your hold at any time to help or interfere with the other at any distance, despite any barriers.
Perfect.
It's a modern day future apocalypse romance. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like Disney up in this shit.
Wait, so I just got
So-
experience and
Yes,
one
So
hold.
yes,
at
I
any
would
point,
like-
yeah, at any point, the two of you can influence and aid each other by your spiritual connection by way of the Hocus. But also, if you're ever in trouble, Brace, Tynan Swift can now Kool-Aid Man through the wall and just be like, "Ah!" Yep.
And Dave,
Cool.
I would 100% liken our Apocalypse World campaign to Disney. Yes, definitely.
You know,
Disney.
that weird Disney movie where people are cutting their own faces off and
Yeah.
So I just want to point out, I have 4 separate hold tracks with Brace right now. I've got her strength on me, my hypnotic on her,
and then
the
both of
sex
you.
move hold from the Hocus, and then my faceless sex move hold.
Yep, yep. Lots of holding
the relationship.
happening.
And
Yeah.
in the meantime, Ferris is just by himself doing bone seal.
Where's
I was
like,
about to
can I
say,
tell the robot?
like the curtain sort of fades on it, and then you just spend the bone feel thing, and I'm just there.
Oh boy, I was tempted to throw you in, but it's one of those things where I always when a player rolls something like that, I have the session to use it, and I always feel sort of remiss not using it, but there just hasn't been a time that I've wanted to.
I don't feel like that is either.
But it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Perfect.
Cool. All right.
So wait, am I still holding 2 on Tynant for not obeying my orders?
Yes. Yeah. Tynan, faceless or no, Tynan needs to officially like prop you up as Queen of Darkness,
Okay.
or you can hurt them.
Okay,
Okay.
I have that recorded.
Good stuff. All right. Well, let's take a break here, and we'll come back and we'll polish off this very eventful episode. Stick around. We got more Apocalypse. Disney presents Roll20 presents Apocalypse World when we get back.
Oh, man.